Everybody, Peter Zeihan here, coming to you from Austin's hike and bike trail around Ladyburg Lake, or Town Lake for those of you who haven't been here in a while. Today we're going to talk about the Interstate 35 corridor, which I would argue is the most important transport corridor in the United States. The issue is one of geography. It's not so much that the U.S. and Mexico are each other's largest trading partners, it's how you connect the two. Mexico is a very, very rugged area, and so doing large-scale rail transport isn't really economically viable. Because if you have a 1/4 of 1 degree increase in the slope of your rail line, you can only handle about half the cargo, and the spine of Mexico, basically the northern middle half, is all mountainous, and most of the population within Mexico City lives over 1.5 miles above sea level. So getting the sort of thing that you would get in the American Great Plains or Midwest just isn't possible in Mexico. And that leaves us with truck. In the United States, we have a similar constraint, but it's because of policy rather than geography. The U.S. has the largest natural navigable waterway system in the world, but because of the Jones Act, we don't use it. We basically made it nearly impossible. We've quadrupled, if not more, the cost of water transport by saying that anything that connects to any two American ports has to be on a vessel that is American-owned, built, captained, and crewed, which again pushes us towards truck as well. And that's where I-35 comes in. Basically, the transport artery that begins in Mexico City shoots up to the Texas border, hits 3 cities in the Texas Triangle, San Antonio, here in Austin, and then Fort Worth, goes on up to Kansas City with chutes going off along the way, off towards the east and the west coast, and eventually once you get up to, say, Kansas City, you also have chutes going north, going to, say, Des Moines and Duluth on the Great Lakes, and further west towards the Canadian prairie provinces. And so everything is basically shipped by 20-foot container unit rather than rail or water, which would be far more efficient. And so until we figure out a solution to a road system that in most places is 6 lanes or less, we have a constraint on how much we can do within the North American system. The smart play would be to invest $1 trillion in rail infrastructure in Mexico, and the smart play would be to amend the Jones Act so that the Mexicans could ship stuff to Veracruz and then up through the American waterway system. But until then, we're stuck with this. Ergo traffic at all hours. Oh, and one more thing, and I-35 is just around the bend of the river here. The second biggest, most important trade artery in North America is on the opposite side of the country, where Ontario meets Michigan. The Ambassador Bridge between Windsor, Ontario, and Detroit, Michigan, until very recently was the most important tradeway, and basically a lot of that is automotive trade. Still remains incredibly important today. I'm not suggesting that it's gotten any smaller. It hasn't. It's gotten bigger. It just Mexico has overtaken it by a significant margin in the last 10 years.